Let's talk about the defense cascade and what your child's bad behavior is really trying to tell you. We're going to dive into the biology behind those super tough moments, you know the ones, and figure out what's actually going on in their brain and body when things feel like they're spinning out of control.
Oh man, we've all been there, right? The full-blown tantrum in the middle of a grocery store, or that sudden shutdown where they just stop responding, or the clinging, the crying that you just can't seem to stop. It's beyond frustrating. It can be so confusing and honestly, just exhausting.
Okay, but what if? What if it's not defiance? What if your child isn't choosing to be difficult in that moment? Imagine if their body has literally taken the wheel, flipped a survival switch that's hardwired into their biology. That is the huge idea we're going to unpack together today.
All right, so first up, let's completely reframe how we look at this. This isn't about bad behavior. This is about biology.
This quote right here, it really changes everything, doesn't it? That tantrum, the screaming, them running away, it's not them trying to manipulate you. It's a distress signal. It's like a biological flare being shot up from a nervous system that is screaming, "I don't feel safe."
And here is the absolute key, you guys. When your child's brain senses danger, the logical, reasoning part of their brain, the part you're trying to talk to, it just goes offline. It's not available. It's completely shut for business. So trying to reason with them or use a sticker chart or talk about consequences, it's like trying to run an app on a phone that's been turned off. It just won't work.
Okay, so how does this whole threat detector in our bodies even work? Let's get into it.
So this table here, think of it as your parental cheat sheet. It's based on something called polyvagal theory, which sounds complicated, but the idea is simple. Our nervous system has basically three main settings. There's safe and social. That's the green zone. That's where they're playful, curious, connected. It's where we want them to be. But if a threat pops up, the body kicks into the sympathetic state. That's your classic fight or flight. And if that threat feels like too much, like there's no escape, it can dive into shutdown. Just being able to spot which state your kid is in, that's game-changing. It's the very first step.
And why does this happen so fast? Well, deep inside the brain, there's a little part called the amygdala. Think of it like the brain's smoke detector. Its job is to sniff out danger. But here's the thing, especially for some kids, that smoke detector can be super sensitive. It might react to something small, like burnt toast or a car backfiring, as if it's a full-blown 5-alarm fire.
Okay, so that's the why. Now let's get into the what. Let's unpack the defense cascade itself.
It turns out all mammals, and yep, that includes us and our kids, go through this really predictable sequence when we feel threatened. It's a cascade. As you can see, it kicks off with arousal, moves to freeze, can then explode into flight or fight, and if all else fails, it hits a final stage of immobility or shutdown. So let's take a look at each of these one by one.
First up, arousal. This is basically the body's first alarm bell. It's that initial jolt where the nervous system just screams, "Hey, pay attention, something feels off." And when that alarm goes off, the whole system starts gearing up for action. You might notice their voice gets all high and tight. Internally, their heart is starting to race, their breathing gets faster, muscles get tense, their body's getting ready to do something about whatever danger it thinks is coming. Okay, so after that initial arousal, if the threat feels immediate and active, the body often jumps right into flight or fight. This is probably the stage you're most familiar with. It's where all that built-up energy gets put into action, an active, powerful defense.
And this can look like a lot of different things, right? Flight can be literally running out of the classroom or away from you at the park. And fight, well, that can be hitting, kicking, biting. It can be screaming and yelling. It's really just a frantic, desperate attempt to make the scary thing stop or to get away from it.
All right, now let's talk about a state that is so misunderstood. It's the freeze response. Now, this is really important. It might look like your child is just ignoring you or spacing out, but it is an intensely active biological state. It's what scientists call attentive immobility.
I absolutely love this definition. A flight or fight response put on hold. It's perfect. Imagine the engine is revving like crazy. The body is totally ready to go, but the foot is slamming on the brake at the exact same time. And why? It's a survival tactic. It's about staying hidden, scanning for more information, and getting ready for the absolute best next move. So let's break this down. What you see on the outside is a kid who suddenly goes completely still and silent. They stop responding, they look spaced out. But inside, whoa, it's a physiological storm. Their muscles are tense, totally poised for action. Their senses are on high alert. And get this, their heart rate can actually drop suddenly. It's a thing called fear bradycardia. So they are not checked out at all. They are intensely, deeply checked in to the threat.
So, what happens when this isn't just a once-in-a-while thing? What happens when a child's nervous system gets kind of stuck in this mode, when that alarm bell is just ringing and ringing, nonstop? Well, living in that constant state of high alert actually starts to change a child's developing brain and body. It can lead to all these chronic issues that, honestly, can look a lot like other diagnoses. We're talking motor hyperactivity, behavioral impulsivity, that persistent humming anxiety, major sleep problems, a whole range of things. Basically, their little body adapts to being in a constant state of emergency, and that can have some really serious long-term effects.
Okay, so this is all pretty heavy, and you might be thinking, if this is all automatic, what on earth am I supposed to do? And that's the right question. So let's get super practical. Here it is. If you take away only one thing, let it be this: safety first, logic later. Your number one job when your kid is in one of these defense states is not to teach a lesson, it's not to discipline, it's not to reason. Your only job in that moment is to help their body, their nervous system, feel safe again. You absolutely have to regulate before you can ever hope to educate.
So here's a simple 4-step playbook you can use. Step 1, make sure everyone is physically and emotionally safe. Move things, create space, whatever you need to do. Step 2, validate the feeling, not the behavior. Something as simple as, wow, you look so scared, or I can see how angry you are right now. It's not about condoning hitting, it's about seeing their emotional state. Step 3, this is huge, co-regulate. Help their body calm down with yours. And then, and only then, maybe hours later when everyone is truly calm, you can do step 4, which is to reconnect and maybe problem solve.
And a super powerful tool for co-regulation is breathing. Specifically, something like this box breathing. It's amazing. You just guide them through it and do it yourself. You breathe in for a count of 4, you hold it for 4, you breathe out for 4, and then you just rest for 4. That longer exhale is the magic button. It actually tells the nervous system, hey, you can stand down, you're safe. By doing it with them, you're literally modeling the calm you want them to find.
And so we come full circle, right back to this core idea. Let this be your mantra. Underneath all that chaos, all that noise, is a kid whose body is doing the only thing it knows how to do to survive. It's just trying to keep them safe.
You know, when you start to see behavior through this lens, it just changes everything. It moves you from frustration to compassion. You stop being just a disciplinarian and you become a detective. And more than that, you become their safe harbor. So the next time your child's body takes over, the next time you see that storm start to brew, remember that it's a call for help. The real question is, how will you answer it?